Hello world, this is Jeffrey, JGB146 Blake for Hoopa Hideout, and today I'm coming to you with another deck profile, this time over what used to be considered maybe a rogue deck. It was right on the edge between rogue and meta, but it took down the Indianapolis Regionals, which is currently holding the title of biggest regionals of all time, and so we need to see how it works. I do have some more Roaring Moon content coming soon, like tomorrow soon, but no one was talking about this yet, so I wanted to. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and dig in. So, we start off with the Pokemon from Temporal Forces that makes this work. Not Beldum. This is the Beldum from Temporal Forces. That is not the one you want to play, but you don't want to play 4 copies. But this one will do if you don't have copies of the card printed in Silver Tempest. So the one in Silver Tempest actually has a colorless 1 energy attack that lets you search out a card from your deck. So that's obviously better than doing 10 damage. But we mostly have the Beldums in order to have the Metangs. And these are the Metangs from Temporal Forces. Their ability, Metal Maker, lets you look at the top 4 cards of your deck every turn, and if you find any energies there, then you attach them however you want. If you don't find energies, then you put the cards on the bottom of your deck. You don't shuffle them back in. And what that means, that's a big deal, because what that means is that if you have 4 Metangs out, you won't do that very often. But if you do, you're not looking at 4 cards 4 different times. You're looking through the top 16 cards of your deck to see what energies you can find. That's a very different thing. You know, you're not shuffling the cards that are misses back in. You're moving them out of the way to dig deeper and deeper looking for those energies. Huge difference. Huge difference. Now then, this could power up a lot of things, actually, but the most natural partner, and the reason that I'm actually going to give this deck a shot for a little while, is Dialga V and Vstar. Playing 3/3 line, and of course, there's a couple things that make Dialga Vstar special. The V-Star attack for 5 metal energies lets you hit for 220 damage, which is a knockout on most basic Vs and a lot of basic EXs. And you get to take another turn right after that. So this can be huge. You can take a 2-prize KO, and then you get another turn. And then Dialga's main attack is actually even better. So it is for 1 colorless energy, 40 damage. And then for each metal energy attached to Dialga, it does 40 more damage. So really, if you have it just 1 metal energy, it's doing 80 damage. If you have the 5 to do the V-Star attack, and you just follow up with another attack, it's doing 240. It's doing more than the V-Star attack. If you add a couple more energies, that can be 280, 320, or even 360. So it's very possible to knock out a 2-prize Pokemon and then knock out the biggest HP Pokemon that are in the game, which is amazing. We have a few one-ofs to kind of help us out here too. We have a single prized Zamazenta that for 3 energy, 2 metal and a colorless, but every energy in this deck is metal. He has a retaliate attack. It does 100 damage, but it does 120 more if you just had a Pokemon knocked out. So he can hit pretty hard, pretty cheaply for a single prizer. He also has the Metal Shield ability that increases his health up to 160 HP if he... I'm sorry, it not actually increases his health. It reduces the damage taken by 30 HP. So a one-hit knockout requires 160, but if they miss, if your opponent doesn't hit 160, then it just reduces the damage, and they have to hit harder next time too. We have a single copy of Mew EX. Mew EX is mostly in there for the draw capability with the restart ability, but you will find yourself from time to time using genome hacking to replicate what an opponent's attack is doing and make some good things happen there. There are certain decks that's really good against, like Giratina Vstar decks. There are some decks it's not as good at. You can actually also copy Arceus attacks here, which can be useful in powering things up, but isn't going to do a heck of a lot for keeping Mew alive or knocking out the Arceus. Then we play a copy of Radiant Greninja, purely in there for the concealed cards ability, and maybe a little bit for the 1 retreat cost if you don't have Mew out. I will caution you, you might be tempted to just stack as many energies as you can onto your Dialgas. Hold back a little bit, because one of the loss conditions with this deck can happen when your opponent sees that all your energies are in play and they just bring up a Metang and just get him stuck. So be careful about that. But that's the Pokemon lineup. Now let's look and see what we've got for supporters. First off, we have 4 copies of Iono. This can move cards from your hand onto the bottom of the deck so you don't interfere with the Metal Maker ability. Then we also have 4 copies of Professor's Research to dig deep to try to get things set up early on. Then we have 3 copies of Boss's Orders. And see, Boss's Orders here is really powerful so that you can actually get the Pokemon you want into the active, so you can take those one-hit knockouts with the V-Star attack. So you're not wasting that to mostly damage something, and then you get another turn and only got 2 prizes out of it. Then we move on to items. So we have some Pokemon Search. 4 copies of Nest Ball. Get any basic, obviously. And we have 4 copies of Ultra Ball to get anything, especially your Metangs and Dialga Vs. Then we have, this is not what I expected to see next. We have, because it's a 4 of. So we'll come back. We also play some Buddy Buddy Poffins, but we don't play 4. But we do play 4 Super Rods, because you need to be able to recycle your energy. I mean, come on. If you've got 7 energies on a Dialga, you need to get those back into the deck to reattach. There we go. Back to the Pokemon Search. We round up the search with 2 copies of Buddy Buddy Poffin. We also play 2 copies of Pokegear 3.0 to help us find the supporters. And I think that might be it. Nope. Last card that's not energy is a Prime Catcher. That's the ace spec of choice. This actually, so I did the thing I told you not to do in some of my test games, right? I got myself stuck. But this Prime Catcher saved my butt. I was able to take the final knockout against my opponent when they thought they had me stuck. So, very good. And then the rest, this massive set of cards, is energy. We have 5 metal energy, and then another 5 metal energy, and then another 5 metal energy, for 15 copies of metal energy. I guarantee you're going to prize metal energy basically every game that you play. But that's okay, because we play 15 copies. We expect some of them to be in prizes. We'll get to them soon. With a fourth of your deck, full 25% of your deck being Metal Energy, this Metal Maker ability is gonna be hitting well. And you're gonna be powering up Dialgas in no time. I may do some gameplay videos with this, but first we're gonna get some more Roaring Moon content, because I know that a lot of you love the content I've done so far. Tomorrow I will have a gameplay review of another student, and later this week I'll have some of my own gameplay, as well as an actual tournament where one of the late finishers played Dun Roaring Moon, so we'll get to see that in some IRL play too. With that, all I've got left is to say thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.